So we have an update to a story that we posted last year. Now, remember when the video came out of the 4 black teens in Chicago with the special needs white teens? You know, white America just lost their mind. And in the middle of that video, and I stated that was wrong, I talked about this particular case that we're updating right now, where you had 3 white teens that sodomized and called a black special needs teen all kind of racial slurs. Well, one of the teens is going to be sentenced by the judge, and as you can see by the title, I want you to hear the circumstances of how that came about. Let's go roll the clip.
Court on Friday, a judge decided not to put John R.K. Howard behind bars.
I have never in my life seen a case like this.
Stoker handed down a withheld judgment, sentencing Howard to 3 years probation and 300 hours of community service that Stoker says he will probably complete back in his home state of Texas. The judge says he based his decision off the facts and evidence presented in this case.
This is not a case of rape. Where that came from, I have no idea. Whatever happened in that locker room that day was not sexual. In my view, this is not a case about racial bias.
The victim's mother says that's extremely unfair.
His punishment is a slap on the hand for him, a slap in the face for him and to our family.
The proceedings started with her emotional statement.
I want you to know that as a family, we felt that the plea against John R.K. Howard was so unfair. Every day of his life is miserable and unfulfilling.
The victim's mother told the court they had to move out of Dietrich because of the hostility they faced. And her son, the 18-year-old victim with mental disabilities, tried to commit suicide multiple times and is now institutionalized.
Please give John R.K. Howard the punishment he deserves.
Evidence shows the victim did have to go to the hospital because his rectum was bleeding from the injury. 2 other football players were charged as juveniles in the attack, one being 17-year-old Tanner Ward. The prosecutor said the facts of the assault are this: Ward inserted a hanger into the victim's buttocks, and Howard kicked it in. Hemmer went on to say information about the case was distorted because of the victim's family's civil suit, but that was the only information available for months to the press, as attorneys in the criminal case were told they couldn't speak about it. Then the defense attorney, Brad Calbo, presented, taking up most of the proceeding.
Himself never claimed he was raped. It was scripted by his parents. And he's trying to correct the wrong, Judge. He's trying to set the record straight.
Calbo said the victim was walking toward Howard in the locker room.
Was laughing throughout the course of the events in the locker room, as were all of the other boys. This was a joke. They were playing.
Howard kicked at him to get the victim's buttocks away from his face, accidentally kicking the hanger and shoving it further into the victim's rectum.
I think it's an open question, Mr. Howard, whether you intentionally or accidentally kicked that hanger, but you admit that you kicked it.
Audio recordings of an interaction between the victim and his football coach were played in court, in which the victim said he was friends with John Howard and Tanner Ward, and that this was all a joke blown out of proportion. In the recording, the victim said he was fed lies and felt pressured by his parents.
It's clear to any unbiased listener, there is no coercion. It is what it is. It is recantation.
The judge wanted to make clear he is not condoning the inappropriate behavior that happened in the Dietrich High School locker room, and says it's still a crime and absolutely unacceptable.
The sickest thing I heard out that whole proceeding, the defense attorney is saying it was a joke. They were just playing around. It just went too far. You see how they think? They know good and well that is just wrong, beyond wrong. Do that to anybody. And yet it is a joke. It is something that just went a little too far. So when black people do the same thing, and if we come out and say, well, it was a joke, they were joking around, it just went too far. Don't fall apart, because you see what they do. This is what black people have to deal with in courtrooms. Now, you know good and well, if this were 3 black boys doing that to a white special needs teen, do you think that black boy would get off on 300 hours of community service, get to go back to his home state, to add insult to injury? After the 3 years probation, he can get that felony charge expunged from his record, like he never did anything. We as black people don't get any breaks like that. We'd have been thrown underneath the jail. The kids that did the mess in Chicago got no bond at all. And then you want to come up here and say, well, he changed the story. The man has special needs. The kid has special needs. Come on. I mean, really? Look at the injuries. He was sodomized with a coat hanger. The evil devil in this video admitted to kicking the coat hanger further up his rectum. And you mean to tell me no jail time? None. If black people sneeze wrong, they go into jail. This is the stuff that we're talking about. This is why the prison population is where it is. When you see cases like this, he should have went to jail. Period. When you have the FBI admitting that whites commit more crimes and they're arrested for more things than anybody else, but yet when it comes to prison population, they're less than 30% of the prison population. How does that work? Because you have racism in the courtrooms. You have people that even commit rapes and they say, oh, I don't want to ruin their life. All kind of things that just going on in these courtrooms when it comes to these white males. And it's sick. And some people come to my comment section and you tell me, I don't understand why some black people just have this anger and hatred. This video is a reason why. I had nothing to do with it. Okay, you didn't. But what are you doing to change it? If you're not doing anything to change it, then you're just as guilty. Right? You know it's wrong. You can use your position as a white person in society to make some changes that I can't do, but yet you're saying nothing. So that's where the anger is coming from when we literally watch a special needs child get sodomized, called all kind of N-words, made to do a dance and all this other stuff, and yet they don't even go to jail. He had the house in Texas, so that's where he's from, chilling his nerves, just doing his community service, like he got too many tickets or something. This is sick. Sick people. Sick. And this is why I say, some of these people, they not human. They can't be. You can't be. Ain't no way in God's green earth that I could do anything harmful like that to a human being or even an animal. What kind of sicko are you to get enjoyment out of something like that? That's why I call them devils, because there ain't nothing godly or angelic about them when they do this kind of stuff. It just made me sick to my stomach. And this is the criminal justice system that needs to be overhauled completely, because there's nothing but a racist entity that tries to oppress black people. This whole case is sick. Leave me a comment. Let me know what you think about this. Share the video, like the commentary, and subscribe for more news stories.